The fox. Few creatures in human history have been loved and hated with equal fire. We call someone foxy to mean clever and beautiful. We also call them outfoxed to mean defeated by deceit. But the real fox, not the cartoon, not the fable, not the furry costume, is something far stranger and more magnificent than any myth. Imagine an animal that can hear a mouse heartbeat from 100 feet away, through snow, through soil, through solid concrete. Imagine an animal that changes its own mind faster than a human can change lanes on a highway, that raises its young inside borrowed holes, that thrives in the Arctic cold, the desert furnace, the suburban backyard, and the garbage dump of Mumbai with equal ease. The fox has no permanent home because the entire planet is its home. Today, we do not tell a fairy tale, we tell a biography. Born in a cramped den beneath an abandoned railway shed, dead under the wheels of a truck, or of old age in a sunlit meadow, her story begins not with a prince, but with a single, trembling, blind cub, no bigger than a teacup. Our protagonist is a red fox, Vulpes vulpes, the most widespread carnivore on Earth. She was born in early April in a den not by her parents, but by a badger 3 years earlier. Her mother, a vixen named only by the scent glands on her tail, gave birth to 5 cubs after a gestation of just 52 days. Our fox was the second cub, a female. Her birthplace was a patch of scrubland between a highway and a cornfield in rural England, but she could just as easily have been born on the outskirts of Tokyo, Sydney, or New York. Foxes have colonized every continent except Antarctica. Her father hunted alone that first night, returning with a half-eaten pigeon. She opened her eyes at 14 days, blue, then brown, then gold. She drank milk until her mother's nipples bled. By 5 weeks, she was play fighting with her siblings outside the den, learning to pounce on leaves and beetles. Her first kill came at 10 weeks, a fledgling blackbird that fell from its nest. She did not eat it, she played with it until it died. That is not cruelty, that is practice. Her struggle began at 4 months when her father chased her away from the territory. She walked 40 miles in 3 nights, crossed 2 rivers, and nearly starved until she found an abandoned rabbit warren. Her first winter was brutal. She ate earthworms, fallen apples, carrion, and once a discarded kebab from a takeaway bin. She survived. By spring, she had claimed a territory of 1 square mile. What defines a fox? First, her body is a paradox. She weighs only 5 to 12 kilograms, smaller than a house cat, but her legs are built for distance, not speed. She can trot at 6 miles per hour for 20 hours. Her pupils are vertical slits like a cat's, giving her night vision precise enough to see a beetle moving under grass. Her hearing is her superpower. Her ears rotate independently, triangulating sound with such accuracy that she can attack a mouse underground by leaping straight up and diving head first into snow, nose first, jaws open. Her average lifespan in the wild is 2 to 5 years. In captivity, one fox lived to be 14. What are her qualities? Adaptability beyond any land mammal except humans. She learns. A fox that survives a trap will avoid all metal objects for life. A fox that finds food near a school will listen for the bell. She caches food like a miser, burying hundreds of mice, each in a separate hole, remembering the location of each for months. She is a single mother more often than not. The male may help or may vanish. She will move her cubs one by one in her mouth to a new den if danger approaches, sometimes traveling miles. She is silent most of her life, but produces over 40 distinct vocalizations, a scream that sounds like a woman being murdered, a bark like a dog, a whine like a kitten, and a geckering sound during play that is pure joy. She plays even as an adult. She will chase her own tail, roll in cow dung for no reason, and steal shiny objects, not for food, but for fascination. That is her greatest quality, curiosity without utility. How is the fox useful to humans? Let us count the ways rarely mentioned. First, rodent control. A single fox kills 3,000 to 5,000 mice and rats per year. Without foxes, granaries would collapse, plague would spread, and crops would vanish. Second, seed dispersal. Foxes eat berries and fruit in huge quantities. In autumn, fruit makes up 60% of their diet. They deposit seeds miles away in fertile droppings. Third, medical research. The fox genome has been fully sequenced, and scientists study its immune system to understand how wild carnivores resist diseases like rabies and distemper, knowledge that helps human vaccines. Fourth, ecosystem engineering. Foxes dig. Their abandoned dens become homes for rabbits, badgers, hedgehogs, and rare insects. A single fox den is a hotel for dozens of species. And what can humans learn from the fox? First, resilience. A fox does not mourn its old life. When chased from its territory, it walks until it finds new ground. Second, opportunism without shame. The fox eats what is available, not what is ideal. It does not starve waiting for steak when garbage is at hand. Third, play as survival. Young foxes that play the most learn to hunt the best. Human children and adults forget that play is not a break from learning, it is learning. Fourth, silence. The fox moves without noise, kills without announcement, suffers without whining. And fifth, the art of being alone. Most foxes live solitary lives, yet they thrive. They do not need a pack or a herd or a crowd. They need only their wits, their territory, and the moon. That is a lesson for every human who fears loneliness. Our fox died in her fourth autumn. Not dramatically. She was crossing a country road at midnight, returning to her den with a rat in her jaws. A car's headlights froze her for half a second. That ancient hesitation, the conflict between flight and fight. And then she ran, but the car was faster. Her death was instant. Her body lay on the asphalt for 3 hours until a badger dragged it into the ditch. Within a week, beetles, bacteria, and rain had returned her to soil. But before she died, she had done something extraordinary. She had raised 3 litters of cubs. 2 of her daughters claimed territories of their own. One son crossed a highway and a river to find new ground. Her genes, those ancient, perfected sequences of survival, moved forward. And somewhere tonight, as you read this, a fox is walking through a city street, past a sleeping dog, past a security camera, past a human who will never see her. She is looking for a mouse. She is listening to the heartbeat of the earth. She does not know that we have written stories about her for 10,000 years, that she is the trickster, the shadow, the flame-colored ghost of every culture. She does not know that we fear her and love her. She does not care. She is a fox, and her biography, written in blood and fur and bone, is simply this: she survived. She outlived the dinosaurs. She will outlive us. And when the last human city crumbles, when the roads crack and the lights go out, a fox will walk across that ruin, lift her leg, and mark the fall of our empire as if it were just another tree. That is not arrogance. That is evolution.